What up, YouTube? It's the Ways, and I'm Tia, and today we're back with another video. Today is Way Back Wednesday. Throw up your W's, okay? And today I'm really excited because we are going to showcase the palette by NikkieTutorials and Nimya. The Nimya palette, that's what it's called. So I'm really excited to play in this. I've had it for a minute, haven't been able to dibble and dabble, but I am so ready. So during the intro, go ahead and subscribe if you're not part of the fam gang. If you are, thank you so much for being here. Like always, I appreciate all the support on the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be updated every time I load a new video as well. Let's get into this palette. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm excited. NikkieTutorials, like, she is such like a classic, right? Like, people, when you get into makeup, maybe a couple years ago, I noticed her 2 or 3 years ago, and I seen the look she did, like, I was like, oh my goodness, she is a fire. So when she started her own brand, it just made sense to me. I was like, yeah, I think she should have her own brand. Like, so I was gonna try it out, but I never got around to it because it is international. And then my sister-in-law gave me a gift card, and it was for Nimya, and I was like, were you reading my mind? Like, were you reading my mind that I wanted to try this brand? So I was able to get the palette. This is what she looks like. I love the orange. My hands are oily and greasy because I just put a whole bunch of lotion on, but I love the orange packaging. And then I did get the little mini fan. I've used this before, so cute. And then I got her Set It and Forget It setting spray. I love this. I love this. I wish the brand wasn't overseas just because it takes so long to get here. But I think I would do another purchase and reorder that for sure. Let me show you the inside of the palette. Cute. I always open on this side and end up moving it to talk about it. It's so weird. So really, when I look at this palette, it looks like a neutral palette. You have tons of neutral tones here. Ooh, this one's pretty, never boring. You have some browns, another brown, like more cool tone. This looks, I have to see what this looks like. You have more neutrals up here. Then the shimmers are pretty neutral shimmers, really pretty. I'm excited about this color right here, which is Supreme Queen. And then you have pops of blue and orange. What? This orange? I cannot wait to bathe in it. We're probably gonna use it today. So cute. I think if you're a neutral lover and you want a little pop of color, this could be a palette for you. I'm excited to figure out what these formulas feel like. Real quick before I pull you in, let me tell you what I have on my face. So I did use this moisturizer. I have been loving this and I wanted to just mention it. It's by Naturium. It's the Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. Fire. It's just like gives me a healthy glow, does not do a white cast whatsoever. Plus I'm getting the broad spectrum, the SPF of 50, which is nice. I usually wear, I haven't worn it really under makeup, but I'm leaving the house today and I want to be protected, and I felt like this was probably the best way to go. So I put that on. Then I went in with my Clarins Instant Smooth Primer. I did my brows with my Melt Perfectionist Brow Pencil, and this one is in brown. I cleaned up my brows with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and we're going in with our MAC Paint Pot today just because I really know how the MAC Paint Pot works, and I'm using a brand new formula. So now that I got y'all caught up, let me pull you in closer. I'll run some swatches and we'll get into the first eye look. So these are the swatches of the palette by Nimya in Sunlight. These mattes are so rich. Shimmers are shimmering. Different formulas here on the shimmers for sure, and on the mattes compared from the light to the dark. Here are the swatches in No Sunlight for the Nimya the palette by NikkieTutorials. Why you all in my grill? Just like, you could be my girl. Let me get some coffee. I need some coffee. My husband got me a new espresso machine for Mother's Day. It is so good. I like how I can like put the mirror back. There is a full-size mirror on this palette. So that's cool. But some palettes I feel like I can't like fold it back. I feel like it's gonna break it or mess up the integrity of the palette. This one I don't think that it is. You were my girl. You're a little too close. Okay, I'm wearing this animal print shirt. So I think I want to stay in the brown family and do more of a neutral look, but I have to put this color Supreme Queen on my lids. I might even go into Level Up, and I think I'm gonna drop on the orange. Let's go into Bon Tour, I believe it's called, which is this brown here. Probably gonna look a lot like my skin tone, but let's see if it gives any depth or if it oxidizes or anything like that. They do seem a little bit like drier mattes, but in a good way. Not bad. Yeah, a little kick up in the pan, but that's fine. Okay, so let's take this. This is just a Moda brush. Yeah, this is my skin tone. Getting a little oxidization, but still like really close to my skin tone. But if I wanted just something to give me a little contrast in my eyes, you can see the difference. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this color called Bad Beach, which is this orangey light color here. Swatcher. You can see that they're a little bit more powdery and drier formula. I do have on, like I said, tons of lotion. I'm gonna pat the brush off a little bit because it is a little kick-uppy, and I'm just gonna take the same brush and blend on the outside, kind of like a brow bone highlight to give us that peachy orangey effect in here. Ooh, I like that. And then also, if you're a lighter, like just blend out that brown a little bit. So we have no harsh edges, but I feel like these are performing really, really well with like no patchiness or anything like that. All right, I'm gonna clean off my brush. I'm gonna go back into the first color, the brown, and just blend in here. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit of depth. I wanna bathe in this shimmer, so I don't want too much, but I do wanna try the brown. So I'm gonna go into Sassy Classy, which is more of the warmer toned brown than this one. I do want to swatch this though. Ooh, that's so rich. That's so pretty. It looks like it has some purple to it. But we're gonna go into Sassy Classy, which is this brown. Those are really rich shades. Okay, I don't know, this formula is reminding me of some brand with the shadows, the mattes. But we're gonna take a Sigma EO5 and we're gonna dig into that brown. I'm patting off my brush because like I said, it's pretty powdery, but I don't wanna put too much. Just gonna go along the lash line here to give us a little bit more depth. Okay, so I added the brown like a liner, Sassy Classy. I think that blended out really well. I don't think I'm loving the first brown I put on my eyes. Like, I don't. I feel like, I don't know. It's just something about the tone is not working for me. But we're going to work with it because I'm probably going to throw this shimmer all over my eye. So let's get into the shimmer. We're going to use Supreme Queen. Like I said, this one right here, which looks like an antique type of gold. Jade. Ah, I love shades like this. Look at that. Ah, it's not overly sparkly. It's more of like a metallic type of look. Okay, we're going to take the EO1 by Singe and we're going to dip into this color. I don't know if I want to spray it. I don't think I'm going to spray it. Let's see what it looks like. I'm getting tons of fallout, but that's okay. So I'm having to like maneuver this. It spreads a lot, like... It's okay if it goes over that brown. I'm going to reinforce that Sassy Classy. But I'm just like, you don't need a lot. Like, I'm just maneuvering it through the eye. It's creamy. I'm going to take the fluffier brush again and just kind of blend. Then I'm going to go back into the Sassy Classy and reinforce my line and make sure it's all blended in here. I took a little bit and sprayed it and put it in the inside of this eye. So I'm gonna do the same thing. And it just makes it a little bit more intense on the metallic effect, as you can see. Just on the inner part of the eye. I don't need it all over the lid like that. So it can flow into really bright to the darker, softer vibe. Okay, I like that better. I like that better. That gave us a little some because it was feeling a little flat, you know? All right, let me do something with the face and then we'll come back and wrap up the eyes. Okay, I threw on a little foundation. I put on my Pat McGrath Labs foundation, Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. And this is in, what is this in? Medium Deep 23. I think it's a little warm. So I went in with my Natasha Denona concealer, and this is in Y10 just to bring a little bit more neutralness to the face. And then I set underneath my eyes and in my T-zone with the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation, and this is in Y12. I have to go into this orange. I have to. I got a little brush by Morphe. This is an M124. I did wipe all the colors off my hand. Is it showing how bright that is on camera? I don't think so. It looks weird on camera. Oh, there you can see it. Okay, so we're gonna drop that on the bottom lash line all the way through. Look, just to give us a pop of color. I love that. I've been really enjoying the neutral tones with a pop of color, like, not gonna lie. Then I think I'm just gonna take Supreme Queen, wet it again, and just bring it down a little bit more just so it really is an inner corner highlight. I like how that performed wet. So next look, we might have to just go wet with one of these shimmers and see how the difference is. Okay, let me wrap up my face and I'll bring you the final look. Yes, 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 yes. I am filling this look using the Nimya palette by NikkieTutorials. So good. Love how this look came out. I really think it's the orange that did it for me. I was a little suspect at first, but the orange just like set it off for me. So we went into 1, 2, 3, 4 shades. I didn't mention, but this is a 15 pan palette. So hopefully in our next look, I don't know if I'm doing 2 or 3 looks, but we will get into more of these colors. I really like how the look came out. So to wrap up the look, for my bronzer, I went into my Pat McGrath Labs bronzer, and this is in Bronze Divinity. It has like a nice terracotta vibe. Love this bronzer, love this formula. For my blush, I went into the Saharan 1 blush palette by Juvia's Place, and I had to pop on this orange. I'm like, I know I have an orange blush. Bring her to me. I have multiple orange blushes, but I wanted something matte, and I think it looked really, really good. For my mascara, I've been trying out this Bon, I don't know, this big one by Lancome. Really, really love it on my top lashes. Bottom lashes, I don't like the brush for my bottom lashes, so I went into my Lash Idol by Lancome. So I use these 2 mascaras. And then what else? For my, I set my face with my Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. And then for my highlighter, you can't get this, but this is by Becca. It's a little mini, and it's like a gold, white gold, and I thought it would be perfect with the eye color. So I just popped that on my cheeks, and it's called Vanilla Quartz, and I thought that would be perfect. And then for my lips, I went in with my Kaleidos Cloud Lab Lip Clay, and this is in Golden Raisin. Oh, I love this color, and I love how it blends in with all the shadows and the oranges and the orangey classic vibe that we got going on here with this like shimmer that's kind of a little grungy but a little antique-y, and with the orange. I love the orange. So anyways, if you're feeling the vibe of this first look, you know I need an orange heart in the comments, okay? I am ready to play with this palette again. So let's get into look number 2. All right, y'all, let's get into this final look using the NikkieTutorials Nimya palette, okay? Last time I went really neutral, which probably gonna go pretty, I don't know, we're gonna play with more colors today. I went with the orange as a pop. I really have to play in the blue. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start with a color called Never Boring. You can see it has like a little pinky undertone, which I think is really cute. I got some Josiah in there washing some dishes. So if you hear extra noise, that's what that is. There's that pinky tone. Can't stop the process because I need dishes washed, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna take this. This is on an e.l.f. Brush. This is from their Mint Melt collection that they used to have. And we're just going to pop that here on the outside of the crease, or outside of the lid and going into the crease. I'm just gonna press. This is a really good brush, actually. I like it. And kind of blend. This palette has, like, that's enough really, because I'm really gonna throw that blue on top, but let's just build this up a little bit. That's a beautiful color. Playing with these mattes, it kind of reminds me of like Melts mattes, to be honest with you. I'm gonna clean off this brush a little bit, and I think I'm gonna go into this lighter, it's like a beige, but it has a pink little undertone, and it's called Swish Swish. I think it will work well. And I'm just gonna take that color on my brow bone. I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm gonna tap it off a little bit because I don't want it to look ashy. And just blend that around light and soft. I'm gonna take Never Boring kinda in the front as well. So it's really going all over the lid. I like that it's not too deep, but it's like a mid-tone shade, and I really like it. I think that's so pretty. Okay, let's get into some depth so we can get into some shimmers. Like, I'm just playing, like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get into Royal Family. You already know. I'm going into this blue. Whew. It's like a navy blue. I don't even know if I really have a color like this in my collection. That's so deep and rich. Let's just take this Playing in Makeup by Yolando 215 brush and go into Royal Family. Yes, that's what it looks like. Royalty. Literally. I'm going to tap off the brush because these are kind of powdery and pigmented. So I just want to build on this shade without getting too much depth at first and see how it's going to layer on top of this pink. I'm just bringing it on the bottom lash line. Kind of build it up out here and into the crease at the bottom here. It's like a little bit. So it looks like a V, but I want it to be a little bit more saturated. I want a little bit more depth. So if you want to just take it as like a liner, you can. You see how dark it got? But I just want to intensify this a little bit. So I'm just really tapping into the pan and then tapping off the brush and then tapping on my eyelid. So now that that's very like prominent, I'm gonna take the Never Boring, the pink shade, on this brush again and just slowly blend around the edges of Royal Family. We don't want any harsh lines there. Cleaning off my brush, dipping back into Never Boring, patting, and blending. Okay, so let's get into some shimmer. I think they have this blue, ooh, but, and then they have this color called Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials. Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials. That's really pretty, like a champagne-y type of shade. And then I think I want to go into Disco Ball. So okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials, this creamy shade, and then Disco Ball on the inner corner, or Disco Stick, I'm sorry. So here's Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials, and here is Disco Stick. Disco Stick has a little bit of blue to it. Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials is kind of like a sheer base, but like champagne-y type of tone. I think that'll look really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to take the other brush from the Mint Melt e.l.f. collection. I'm going to go ahead and spray this shadow as well. because they are kind of pick-up-y in the pan. I haven't done my face yet, but I want the vibe of like more metallic-y and stick to my lid. So let's see what to do. Any spray you have, water, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna take it right here. I still want that blue to be prominent here. On the outside, ooh, that's pretty. It's a very shimmery shadow. I like that. I could take that all over the lid, but we wanna play with some colors. I think that's really pretty. It's very neutral and it could probably go with any look. Like, I think that looks really pretty. Like, I could have totally took this shade all the way in. I'm gonna take a little bit of Royal Family, the blue, tap off my brush, and just make sure this is kind of blended and matte. Okay, let's flip the brush over. I'm also gonna clean it off a little bit. And let's go into the color called Disco Stick. I have it sitting over here. I don't want to hold it. I'm so like lazy right now. And drop it on the inside of the lid. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. You can see the blue in that. That's cool. Look at that. Wow, that is bright. Kind of want to blend it out though. It is going to be my inner corner as well. Okay, let me drop on some concealer foundation and then we'll come back and wrap up the eyes. I think it's cute though. It's just super duper sparkly and honestly not what I was expecting. Went ahead and added some foundation, concealer, and powder. Let's go ahead and do the bottom lash line. I want to go into this color called Herfest Heaven. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it looks like a brown. But it looks like it has kind of a purpley undertone, like an eggplant. So I'm going to clean off the Playing in Makeup by Yolanda Y215, which I use the blue on, because I want something kind of packy, like a packing type brush. It's going to be stained. It's not going to look like it's clean, but I trust my Sigma switch, okay? And we're going to go into that color. I'm going to pat it off, and we're going to run this on the bottom lash line. That was so smooth and so easy. Oh, that just gave a whole nother vibe. For real. Like, that just gave smoky vibes for real. I'm going to smoke this out to meet up with that blue. This is starting to look like a NikkieTutorials look for real. Like, for real, for real. All right, I'm going to take the same brush. I can't even help myself. I'm going to go into one more color. And I'm going to go into this one. The blue. We gotta use it. We gotta use it. We gotta use it. Oh, it has a little bit of a, ooh, that's pretty. Blue, purple. Definitely gonna go ahead and spray it. Take it over that purple a little bit. Clean off my brush a little bit. Go back into that Heaven color just to make sure these are blended. Yes, so this is the final look using the Nimya, the palette by NikkieTutorials. This was fun. This look reminds me of NikkieTutorials. I love how we incorporated the blue. We got that champagne color. Let me tell you how I wrapped up this look. I didn't do much different on the face. Everything was pretty much the same. I did go back into the Saharan Blush Volume 1 palette, and I used the color Abby, this dark plummy shade, because I felt like it matched that dark color I put on the outside of the lid. And I just put it up in here with my bronzer by Pat McGrath. I feel like the bronzer from Pat McGrath has that terracotta vibe, and then just pulled it up into this darker shade from this Saharan blush palette by Juvia's Place. So I really like how that played in there. I use my Melt Water Slick Eye Pencil by Melt, and this one is in, I would hope, white. Oh, Milkweed. Just to brighten up the eye because it got a little dark with the blue. Look at that shade in the inner corner. It's so pretty. Didn't think it would be a standout shade for me, but whew, it is a fire. For my lips, I just went in with this Huda Beauty lip gloss, full filler, and this is in Foxy. Just wanted something light, pink. That's what I went with. I don't even know if that would be what I would do. I probably would have went with more of a pale pink, but that gives a little something, okay? I really like this look. I really liked playing in this palette. It is a little messy. The colors are like, they're powdery. The shimmeries are really shimmery, so they pick up a lot in the pan. We used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shades out of the 15 pan palette. I think I went into this shade in my first look, so dang, we really went in. And these two colors are the ones that I'm intrigued with the most. Final Boss and Level F, so I'll definitely be using them. This looks a little bit more pink in the mirror, but I'm seeing a little bit more coppery, or in camera, but I see a little bit more coppery in person. This is definitely a coppery orangey shade. I can't wait to use that. But I had fun. I really enjoyed the colors that I use. I like the mix of neutral plus some pops of colors like Royal Family and Ver. Like, this orange was definitely a standout shade to me. I like that there's some pinky tones. I really think you can go so many different ways with this palette. It's neutral, it's colorful. It could be every day because you could just stick with your neutral tones, throw a little shimmer on. I don't think the shimmers were my favorite. I felt like in this look, I was wiping shimmer off my forehead and I sprayed the shimmers. So that's a lot, right, going on. But I think I really liked how both of my looks came out. I feel like the mattes are a little powdery, but I feel like they're melts mattes. Like, they're really close to them, and I love melts mattes. So, but they don't oxidize like melts mattes. Well, the newer melt mattes. But I really feel the vibe of this. I think it was really fun. I'm glad I finally got to play in it. We'll definitely pick it up. I think there's some standout shades in here. Burr. I don't think I have anything like this in my collection. Like, that is gorgeous, and I am not a purple person. But that just like pops on my skin. I like how I wrapped around Disco Stick around Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials. Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials Supreme Queen. I love this from my first look. I think it's just the texture that's a little off for me, but it's so pretty, like that cool tone gold type of vibes. You have these deep 1, 2, 3 deep shades. Nothing that's light is like ashy. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm not even gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I would give this palette, an 8. I give it a solid 8. I think if you love this color story, if you love NikkieTutorials, it's a vibe. I feel like the shimmers are a little too shimmery. Like, I don't want to say too shimmery. It's just a different type of formula. I just feel like the textures are a little like, I don't know. They could be smoother, not so chunky. And also if I spray them, like, I don't expect it to get all over my face. But I don't know. I really enjoy this palette. Solid 8. That is not bad at all. I think there's some versatility in here. I like how big the pans are. I love the packaging. This gold orange, okay, is fire. Literally. So another nice thing I liked about this palette is she gave you a little booklet. This is Nikkie, if you don't know, NikkieTutorials. And she gave you like some different looks. And she explained how to do them, which I thought was super duper creative. I've never had any palette give me an outline on how to do some looks, you know? Like, I think that's really cool. And then about her other products, I was not happy with my experience at first with like having a gift card and getting the packaging. It took forever. It was overseas. Like, that's just is what it is. But all in all, I really enjoyed this palette. So if you're feeling the vibe of this look, go ahead and drop me a blue heart in the comments, okay? If you're feeling the vibe of this video, go ahead and give me a huge thumbs up. If you're not part of the Fam Gang, go ahead and subscribe. I love bringing you these Way Back Wednesdays and playing with some of the palettes in my collection that I haven't played with. There's some older palettes that we want to dibble and dabble in and use our makeup. But if you enjoyed this vibe, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel, okay, gang? Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you're doing well. Remember, there is only one way to do your makeup, and that is your way. We'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Peace.